My story pretty much starts in high school. When I started drinking when I was about 15 years old. Started hanging out with some of the wrong crowd. My sports buddies were always my good buddies to hang out with, but on the other side, on the weekends, I would hang out with my friends that probably some of you guys have, where our parents are iffy to let us go over there, or what they're about, you know, and I became that friend. I became that friend where my friends had to lie where they were going because they were going to hang out with me, you know, and that's never a good thing. But still, throughout that, the Lord stuck by my side, continued to bless me. I did good in high school playing sports. I played football, basketball, wrestled, and still I was playing baseball at the time. And the Lord never left my side. I was going through a lot. My dad ended up getting sick. He had diabetes, and so without him there, it put a real stress on my life, and I didn't know where I was going to go after that. I stuck by his side for about a year in the hospital, and he continued to get worse and worse, and I continued to party and continued to play baseball at the time. But when I was 19, I got drafted by the Cleveland Indians to play professional baseball. And so at the time, I didn't feel like I had a drinking problem. I thought, how can I have a drinking problem? I'm doing so good in baseball. I wasn't doing quite good in school, which I should have been, but because of sports, my coaches took care of my grades, you know, and I always thought that was cool. But at the time, it wasn't helping me at all. And at the time, I continued to party and play baseball. I got drafted, and I got in an accident while I was playing baseball. I got in an accident on the field. I collided with another outfielder, and that's how I got this scar right here. I broke my eye socket, broke my nose, and damaged nerves to my jaw. And so I was done playing baseball. So after that same year, my dad passed away, and I had to make the decision. You know, I had a lot going on in my life. I had to make the decision, am I going to be mad at God? Am I going to blame him? Or am I going to get closer to him and, you know, cling on to his comfort and his love that he provides for us? And I chose to do that. When my dad passed away, my family didn't have God in their lives, so they were kind of mad at. It seemed like they were mad at me because I seemed comfortable. I was okay with my dad passing away, but it was only because I had God in my heart, and God to be there for me, to give me that comfort to know where my dad was going when he passed away. And I think everybody should have that comfort in their heart, and I pray all the time that my family and friends one day get to experience that feeling that I'm sure some of us have felt, where there's no feeling like God's love, you know, in our heart. And so that made a huge difference for me of how to deal with my dad's passing away. My baseball career was over, so I had to go out and work. And God blessed me with everything that I wanted still, you know, and he was there for me through every single thing. And after a couple of years, I chose to go away from God. I strayed away from him again, went back to the party scene, started thinking about, man, I wish I was playing baseball, feeling sorry for myself, you know. And I ended up getting into some trouble. I lost my great job that God provided for me. He blessed me with all that. As soon as I turned away from him, he let me realize that it was all from him. I had a great job. I had the cars that I wanted. I had a house that I wanted. And I lost all that because I chose to go on my own, forget where all that came from, forget who blessed me with the comfort that only God gave me, you know. And I took it for granted and straight off on my own, ended up losing everything. That was when I moved here, and it continued to go downhill. I met Chad. He was awesome. Eric. The only people I knew here was my church family. And you guys being young like this, awesome. You know, you guys are already here, already being a good example, the good friend that parents can look and be like, oh yeah, they go to youth group, they go to church, like, yeah, go ahead, go hang out with them, you know. I wasn't that person at the time. But when I got here, believe it or not, I was drinking on my own. I was sleeping at the parks around here in Grover Beach. I was asking for change at the stores. I was not a good person, but still God never gave up on me. He was there for me. Why? I don't know why. You know, I didn't deserve it. Every day she sees me, or that's my girlfriend, but she sees me staring out the window, and it's because I'm looking out off of our balcony, looking at the ocean and our view and where we're at today, and I don't deserve it. And I'm amazed by, you know, God's grace and His mercy. And I was doing bad for a while, and I was living at my mom's house, and I was completely lost. I had no hope, no drive. I didn't see my life changing at all. I was completely lost. If I stopped drinking, I felt sick. I didn't know what else to do. So one day, I woke up and completely hopeless. I just had a thought in my head, I need to do something, I need to change my life. And God put it on my heart to go to Teen Challenge. I don't know if you guys know who Teen Challenge is. Yeah, I went to Teen Challenge up in Eureka for a year, and that was God's way of getting a hold of me. You know, I woke up, I called my mom, I was like, I'm leaving. I can't do this anymore. You could tell she was scared because she knew where my life was going. I'm leaving. Where am I going? I have nowhere to go, you know. And I told her I was going to go to Teen Challenge. She said, I'm going to be downstairs right now. So she goes downstairs and she's crying. And me being her son, I'm like, why are you crying? You know, who hurt you? Who said what? Why are you crying? And she said that she was crying because when I called her, I had interrupted her prayer. She was upstairs on her knees praying that God puts it in my heart to do something about my life. And God works that fast, you know. Prayer works. I encourage everybody here to pray, no matter what it is, no matter how big the problem, no matter how lost a person is. Praying works. Don't ever give up on that. And God's really changed my life. I went to Eureka, like I said, for a year and about 13 months. And as soon as I started doing good, you know, I surrendered to Him, surrendered my life to Him, everything. My finances, my job, I surrendered everything to Him, my family. You know, while I was over there, I didn't have a cell phone, but I got to make phone calls, and every time I would call home, God's taking care of everything over here, you know. And all He wants from us is for us to say, here, God, I don't know what to do anymore here. Here's this, or here's that, here's this problem. I can't do it anymore, but God can, you know. We just have to give Him the chance to be God. Let go and let God. I love how that always works, you know. And still today, you know, you guys being young and stuff, you guys might not know what God has for you. Sometimes we think we know, but you never know. And just give it to God. God will steer us in the right direction every single time. He'll never let us down. He never lets us go through anything that we can't handle. If He did, we all wouldn't be here today, you know. And I think it's awesome that you guys are here. Let God run your life. He'll never let you guys down. And I pray that for all of you that He continues to work in your hearts and be the awesome people that He wants us to be. You know, be the examples. And the other day, Eric spoke about stepping out of ourselves and letting God step into us and work through us. And I thought that was awesome, because once we step away from church and go out to the city, it's our job or it's your guys' job, it's all of our jobs to do our part, you know. Be that kind person or that thoughtful person that the next person might not be. we never know when we're going to touch someone's heart. So I just encourage you guys to stay on the right track and continue to pray, and God loves you guys. Thank you.